All right, so we're going to talk about what a mediocre marketer looks like and then also what an excellent one looks like. But more so, you should pay attention to the mediocre one and you just do the opposite of that.
What mediocre looks like is people using ChatGPT and Bard to give you basic answers instead of something that's customized to a business. And even if ChatGPT and Bard can give you customized answers, which in many cases they can, for most marketing things, the advice is really generic and it's not customized enough. That's the first thing I'm seeing a ton of mediocre marketers doing these days, because I'm involved in the interviewing process and I would ask people technical questions to see how good they are, even if they're a leader. And it's funny, you can tell a lot of the answers that people are giving are from Bard and ChatGPT. And on one of the interviews, I asked the person, I'm like, out of curiosity, and I won't fault you for this, I'm just curious, did you end up getting this piece of feedback from ChatGPT or Bard? And they were just like, yes. The other example is people who don't read a lot. So yes, ChatGPT and Bard and some of these websites that, or, media channels, like if you're looking at Instagram or YouTube and looking at the shorts and the reels, they could give you some ideas and they're not bad, especially in marketing. But the ones who are constantly reading and analyzing competition are going to be the ones who are going to be much more creative, because they're going to have much more data points. They're going to see what other people are doing and it'll give them much better ideas. The same goes with analytics. If you're working with a marketer who doesn't log into analytics, or if you ask them a specific question and they don't know where certain reports are in GA4, you're kind of screwed. Why? Because they're not data oriented and they're not going to know how to maximize conversions as well as someone who does.
So mediocre marketers are focused on the short term, and the standout marketers, the excellent marketers, are focused on the long term. And what I mean by that is, and Neil and I are both.
What happens if a company requires them to hit short-term objectives? Because sometimes they have to for quarterly earnings.
Well, I mean, so I'm talking about the general, like back in the day, internet marketers, right? Like affiliate marketers making a quick buck. Now there are rules to the exception, right? Like, but I would say most people are probably working for the Fortune 500s or publicly traded companies. But that is a data point. So.
Yeah, and if you are working for someone that needs short-term ROI, follow the 80-20 rule. Spend 20%, 10%, 30% of your time, somewhere around that range, on short-term marketing tactics and the rest on long-term marketing tactics, so you can have a balance.
The key thing here is that you want to make sure that ideally, in the vast majority of cases, you are not trying to make a quick buck. You want to focus on the long term. And long term means you're investing into content and not expecting an ROI for the first 2 to 3 years or so, right?
Mediocre marketers rely on platforms instead of building up your own audience. If you don't build up your own audience, you're beholden to the platforms. And if platforms change our algorithm or the way they work, you can be screwed. And it's happened to so many businesses, so much so that investors hate businesses that are relying on one channel.
And the other thing, we kind of talked about experimentation, but naturally, if you are a marketer that enjoys testing things and experimenting, you're down with failure. You embrace the failure and you know that's part of the learning process.
So look, no marketer is going to be perfect. Try to have less mediocre skills and more amazing skills. And another mediocre skill that I'll end with, and then Eric can end it off if he wants. But one more that I'll end off with is mediocre marketers believe they know everything. Mediocre marketers believe that if they did a test and it works, it's going to work for every type of business. You can be proven wrong any time of the day. Just because something worked for really well on one campaign doesn't mean it's going to work for another campaign, even if it's in the same industry. And trust me, I've tried a lot of this stuff and I've seen it firsthand. The other thing too is if you believe you know everything, someone's going to pass you by. Eric and I have been doing marketing for, I don't know how long you have, but I'm over 20 years now, 22 years specifically, or exactly. And during the 22 years, I don't think I'm the best at anything. I still think I can improve and continually get better.
In marketing, if you want to be the best of the best, you have to be proactive. You have to take the initiative. You have to learn new things. You have to experiment. It doesn't just apply to marketers, it applies to business as well. So that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe if you think this is not a mediocre podcast. If you do, still leave a review anyway. And
tell us why, and then we'll improve. Now, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'm here to answer them and help you out. If you enjoyed the video, like it, share it, tell people about it. Thank you very much.